Okay, I need to ask you guys a super controversial question that I see posted on social media a lot, and I have a very strong opinion about it, but I feel like I need some either agreeers or disagreeers with me. I love pineapple on pizza. I think it's delicious and amazing. It's a little sweet and a little salty, kind of like me. Do you guys like pineapple on pizza? And what are your favorite pizzas? Go.
I don't like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of pineapple on pizza, but if someone ordered it and that was the only thing to eat, I would eat it. But I personally would never get it. Being from Chicago, it's kind of like you never think about that as a topping for pizza. You just get deep dish and roll with it, even though deep dish isn't the only pizza in Chicago, obviously. But no, I would never put pineapple on pizza.
But if someone forced you to eat it, you would like eat it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will accept that. What about you, Sam? Pineapple on pizza?
Okay, I am going to have to say no pineapple on pizza, but I'll eat it.
Of course, if it's there. I think I'll eat any pizza if it's in front of me.
I love pizza. But I would say my favorite pizza, I love like a barbecue chicken pizza. Delicious, maybe with some onions. I also just like a regular pepperoni, or my mom like loves to just get like cheese and green peppers and onions, and it's kind of like become like a part of like just the pizza of the family. So I'll say probably pizza with some peppers and onions.
That sounds delicious.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
I will also eat any pizza that's put in front of me. I mean, to be honest, I'll eat like any food that's put in front of me. I always like to say I'll try anything once, and if I don't like it, I'll just never eat it again.
Totally.
Have you guys ever tried anything like super weird on a pizza?
No, I'm pretty picky when it comes to that.
Nothing like weird, but it was really fun to be on tour and like go and try like whatever the big pizza place was in a new city, or like I remember there was like a really, really great pizza place in Nashville that I can't remember the name of, but so I would say, and it was huge. The pizzas were like giant. That was like its thing. So maybe I'll say a giant, like a size of my head piece of pizza.
And that was just the slice? Man,
yeah,
I'm
just
hungry. Why do we talk about food so much in this podcast? We talk about food a lot, Sam.
Good. So I'm on the right podcast, I guess.
Perfect. Here for it.
Recorded in Phoenix, Arizona.
It's the Pop Culture Junkie podcast. Welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Junkie podcast. Oh man, I was trying not to sing it and then I sang it in the end. Oh well. I'm Shauna and I am here with co-junkie Nicole.
Hey everyone.
And we have a very special guest this week, Sam Primack. Sam is from Scottsdale, Arizona. Isn't that right, Sam?
Yes.
Yay, got a Zony. Sam is a Broadway star. As a child, Sam toured. Am I a star? Yes.
I guess.
I think you're a star. As a child, Sam toured with the country in the role of Pugsley from the Addams Family. I love the Addams Family.
Yes.
In the spring of 19, he started on Broadway in Dear Evan Hansen. And you kind of continued touring up until COVID destroyed everything, right?
Oh yeah, I was on the tour when everything shut down.
Oh man, how frustrating.
Yeah.
Where were you like when it was closed? Like what city?
Actually, this is a funny story. I was on vacation. I had taken my one vacation week for my whole year that I was there, and I was like so ready to like get out and have fun and then like have a week and go back. And so I was in Costa Rica actually when everything was closing that week. And then I flew back on a Sunday and I've been here ever since.
Oh man. Yeah. I was on vacation. I mean, I wasn't touring with Broadway, so it's not as exciting, but I was on vacation when everything went down too. I was in Rocky Point with some girlfriends for a bachelorette party. And then we were like kind of reading the news and we're like, maybe we shouldn't be here. And then we got home and it was like immediately went into lockdown. So at least we got our last hurrah out, I guess, right?
Totally.
So we usually start the show by talking about things that we've been watching and pop culture news from the week. So let's all dive into that. You want to start us off, Nicole? What have you been watching this week?
Well, this week I watched The Bachelor, of course. Got to stay up to date on that. You watch it?
I do watch it. It's my first season I've ever watched. I gotten into it in quarantine.
Gosh, okay. We love that. I'm like the only one that watches it here ever.
Okay.
So I'm very glad I have someone I could talk to about it.
Yes, I've never been able to talk about it before, so this is perfect.
Oh, okay, we'll talk. But yeah, I've watched The Bachelor, catching up on The Real Housewives of New Jersey still. And I have not watched this yet, but I will watch it. The crime scene, The Vanishing at the Cecile Hotel. Ooh. I will be watching that tomorrow.
Is that like a true crime, like documentary or something?
Yeah, so there was a lady who was at the hotel and like she's very distraught when she's in the elevator and she keeps like peeking her head out of the elevator to kind of see if someone's following her or whatnot, and then she vanishes from the hotel.
Oh, creepy. I'm going to have to watch that too. I like true crime stuff.
Yeah, seems very interesting.
What have you been watching this week, Sam? The Bachelor, I guess, right?
The Bachelor, yes. I'm new to the Bachelor fandom, but I guess I'm a part of it. I'm hooked now.
Yes.
I'm excited because tomorrow the new episode of WandaVision comes out, and I'm a huge Marvel fan, and so it's been really great so far. Through quarantine, I have been watching just a lot of things that like it had been like a lot of people telling me like, oh, you need to watch this. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll watch it eventually. And then, so now I've finally had the time. So I've watched a lot of movies and a lot of great TV. I'm finishing right now on Netflix. I'm watching BoJack Horseman, which is really depressing actually. And like really funny, but also really, really depressing.
That's what I've heard. Like, it's super realistic view of, I mean, as realistic as it can be for a guy with a horse head, right?
I know. Yeah.
Depression and like childhood stardom, right?
Oh yeah. It's all about, depression and mental health. And it's kind of nice because that's what we talk about. And that's kind of the themes of Dear Evan Hansen too. So it's a really interesting look at, and it's all animation, which is even weirder for a show about depression and anxiety. So yeah, that's what I'm watching right now.
I've heard such good things about BoJack Horseman. I need to give it a try.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's really great.
So I too have been watching WandaVision, and it just seems to get better and better every single week. So I'm super excited to see what goes on tomorrow. And now that Vision is kind of starting to realize that things aren't, I don't know, that he's suspecting that Wanda, is manipulating things.
Yeah.
So,
and that the cameo at the end of the last one.
Oh my God. Yes. So, okay. Let's talk about that for a second. Okay. Spoiler for the last episode. Oh wait, Nicole didn't see it yet.
Oh no.
Go ahead and spoil. We have to talk about it.
Okay.
Of course. Go ahead.
While I was watching it too, I was like, Nicole probably isn't going to understand why this is so crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just.
No, I get it.
So at the very end of the last episode, there's a knock on the door, and it is Pietro. Am I saying that right?
I think so.
It is her brother, but it is the actor who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies and not the actor who played Quicksilver from the MCU. So it's kind of confirming. I mean, we know that X-Men are going to come into the MCU. So this is kind of like this is the first step of us seeing like a X-Men actor character come into the MCU. And so, and even Darcy's like, she recast Pietro? So, oh man, I shrieked when it was him.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was watching it with like two of my friends, and we like just got up because I'm just a huge superhero fan. I also love Evan Peters too. So like, it was just exciting to like see the beginning of these kind of two worlds that we had all been watching together, like kind of start merging. So it's going to be a really cool couple of years of this.
Right. Oh my God. I'm just obsessed with the MCU. And shout out to Adam from a couple episodes ago. I mean, I guess it hasn't been confirmed, but he did say that he thinks that Wanda is going to be the one who brings the X-Men into the MCU. So it's like a reverse House of M. So instead of getting rid of all mutants, she creates mutants basically. So I think that's what's going down. Let's see. I've also been binge watching on, I think it's on HBO, Selena plus Chef. So it's Selena Gomez, and every week it's her during quarantine, and she is a self-professed like terrible cook. And so she has these like world-renowned chefs that she basically does Zoom calls with, and they teach her how to cook. And it's in her kitchen, and it's just so funny, and like it makes her so personable because she's so silly and she really doesn't know what she's doing. But like she has to follow their directions so exact. And I mean, and my husband's the one who turns it on because he's low key in love with Selena Gomez. So whatever. But yeah, it's been really cute. And then we went to the store today and we were like grocery shopping. He's like, haven't you been paying attention? Do you not know how to like cook now? I'm like, no, I don't know how to cook. I know to salt my pasta water. And I know that you need to let your steak rest before cutting it. There you go. That's about it.
Great.
Let's catch up on some celebrity and pop culture news and gossip this week. I feel like there's been a few things. Why don't you guys start? Because I can feel you both itching to talk about The Bachelor. So take it away.
Well, there are rumors going around that Katie from The Bachelor will be the next Bachelorette.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really, really cool to see. I think she's definitely a fan favorite, and she was definitely the advocate for like the girls not to bully one another on the show. So I think she's a great example and role model for that role. What do you think about that, Sam?
I totally agree. I think that she'd be great. I mean, she made such a strong first impression from the get-go.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, she kind of came out ablazing, and so we kind of knew who she was very quickly on. And if that is true, I think it'd be exciting. I mean, I'm so new to this whole world of like them picking people and stuff. So I watch it with just like one of my friends who also is new to it. So every week we're surprised by what happens next. And then there's, I think, maybe a new girl. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
it keeps me on the edge of my seat.
This season's definitely, I feel like, a lot different than the other seasons. One, because they're not in LA. And two, they keep bringing people in, and it's so late into the game already, and it's kind of annoying, but obviously they have to do it for the drama aspect. Now that Victoria's gone, they have to keep the drama going.
Are they bringing back people who were like kicked off earlier in the season, basically, or just random new women that are like, let's try this one out?
Yeah, at first it was just random new people who he had never met before. And then just recently, they're like 6 weeks in, and a girl from an old season came. And it's like, I want to be on this season. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Keep people on their toes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, I need to get on that train. I really do.
It's okay.
So juicy.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It'll suck you in. It's all right.
I think everyone in it is a little bit like, oh, we're stuck in it. Like, everyone who's really like engrossed in it, a little bit is like, oh, I can't believe I'm invested in this show. This is
so
much.
horrible. I can't wait to watch the next episode.
That's true.
Let's see here. One piece of news that I wanted to talk about. It's been speculated for years and kind of hinted at, but never really confirmed, that Charisma Carpenter, who played Cordelia Chase on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, was fired from the show Angel by Joss Whedon when she became pregnant. But she did release a statement confirming that she was mistreated by Joss Whedon, the creator of Buffy and of Angel, and that she was indeed fired by him after she became pregnant. Her statement says that she was just, that all the actors had to vie for his attention to get screen time, that when she became pregnant, they would call her fat on set, in that basically she was fired and written off of the show because of it. So she wrote this huge statement finally confirming that, yes, Joss Whedon did do all these things to me. And a ton of other Buffyverse actors are coming forward. So Michelle Trachtenberg, who played Buffy's little sister, released a statement that said that she faced inappropriate behavior by Joss Whedon on the set of Buffy, and she was a teenager. Amber Benson, who played Tara on the show, also said that she's faced some of this too, and it's stuff that she's dealt with for years. Sarah Michelle Gellar, obviously Buffy, said that she stands with survivors of assault and that she believes people who are going through this. Emma Caulfield, who we also know from WandaVision now, reposted Sarah Michelle Gellar's statement too and said that, she stands with people and believes them when they say these things. Anthony Stewart Head, who played Giles on the show, said he's really sad if people went through these experiences and that he's gutted and just that the show felt like family. So it's really sad to see all this go down. And I mean, Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg in the Justice League, did come forward and say that he faced mistreatment from Joss Whedon and he was fired from the Flash movie. If we ever get to see the Flash movie, who knows? But really, this came forward, and Charisma Carpenter ended up releasing her statement in defense of Ray Fisher, too, and saying, like, I absolutely stand with him and believe him because I went through this with Joss Whedon, too. So kind of sad thing going down with such, like, an iconic, like, nerd director, and it's just, it's hard because, like, Buffy is my, like, biggest fandom, and it's hard to, like, wrap my head around somebody who's, like, so awful made something that I love so much. You know what I mean? And obviously Harry Potter fans are like, yeah. We know how that feels.
Sure. Yeah.
But
totally.
Yeah, so that's kind of crappy. So just choosing to stand by all the actors and believe them and believe when people say they experience these things. And Sarah Michelle Gellar said that she's forever thankful to be associated with the name Buffy Summers, but not with the name Joss Whedon. So we are here for Buffy. Have you guys ever like had a fandom or something that you're a big fan of, but then the creator of it just kind of ends up being a crappy person, or I don't know. Like, do you feel like it's hard to separate the art from the artist?
Yes and no. I think it's really incredible and brave and courageous that all of these people are coming forward and have the courage to come forward. And I think it's time that more people come forward, because as we've seen in the last couple of years, there are countless instances where this is happening. And I think it's really important, as you said, to believe the people that come forward, to elevate and lift up their voices so that their message can get across. And it's really hard and a difficult thing to listen to and see, but I think it's also very important to see, and it's really important to listen and make sure that everyone knows kind of the truth.
Well said. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, and this is like we see with Marilyn Manson too, that was just kind of, we talked about last week, kind of the code of silence that like men especially get away with, treating people like crap behind the scenes, especially if they're seen as artists a lot. And it's just like, oh, this is their art and their craft, and this is how they work. And it's like, no, you don't have to be abusive to work and to create art. Like, that's unacceptable. So J.K. Rowling now is just, obviously just a terrible person. It's come out, but like, gosh, Harry Potter has meant so much to so many people and to so many of us growing up and reading it. And like, I love that all of the actors from all the Harry Potter movies have come forward for like trans rights. And it's like, okay, cool.
Totally.
Kind of makes me feel better about still, being a Harry Potter stan. Be like, you know what? Maybe she created this world, but it's really the fans. And like Joss Whedon might have created Buffy, but it's really the actors who gave it life and the fans who have really interpreted it and ran with it. So screw J.K. Rowling and screw Joss Whedon. Buffy and Harry are ours now in our hearts.
True.
Also, speaking of separating, I guess, art from artist, Gina Carano was fired from The Mandalorian this week. Well, I shouldn't say this week. She was fired, and it was announced this week that she was fired. So I don't know how long she's known about it. Do you like The Mandalorian at all, Sam, or Star Wars?
It's something
no pressure if you don't. It's all right.
It's not that I dislike it in any way. I just haven't ended up watching it. I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars movies, but I just haven't. There's so much to watch right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That it's just on the list of things that I need to watch for sure.
It's on the list. I totally feel that. I have like a running list of shows in my head too that I'm like, oh, everybody says that's good. I should watch that.
Totally.
I do suggest The Mandalorian, especially if you already are a Star Wars fan. It's really good. So Gina Carano played Rebel Alliance soldier Cara Dune on The Mandalorian. So she's been kind of embroiled in controversy over her Twitter for a while now. She mocks masks. She suggested that voter fraud took place in the 2020 election. She's had anti-trans tweets. So she's really just kind of a crap person too. And it was announced that she's no longer going to be on the show. So Cara Dune or Cara Dune. I don't know how to say it correctly. I know all the Star Wars people are shouting at their radios right now. Radios? iPods?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Was she a big character?
Boomer. Jesus. I think she was a wrestler before she was an actress or whatever. So, I mean, she is really cool in the role, but like I don't know. I'm wondering if they're going to just write her out of the show or, just replace her and not mention it. So some people are saying Lucy Lawless should take over the role. And I think that would be sick because I love Lucy Lawless. So we'll see how The Mandalorian goes forward without her on there. But
was she one of the main characters or what kind of role did she have?
So she is featured pretty strongly in a couple episodes in season 1 and in season 2. She's, I guess, one of the main-ish characters. I mean, the show can definitely go forward without her. Really, the main characters are like Grogu and Mando. So as long as you got them. But yeah, I definitely think it's something that they could just kind of like write her off and she can fly into the sunset or crash into a planet or something. But bye, Gina Carano.
So in other news, the Super Bowl just happened this past Sunday from recording. And even though he was not in the Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers did come out in his speech when he got his award, I believe, for MVP. And he said that he wants to thank his fiance, which was a major shocker because just like a couple days before that, he announced that him and Shailene Woodley were a couple. And so it's confirmed that him and Shailene Woodley are engaged.
Oh, dang. I didn't even know they were together.
Look at that.
Yeah, I think it is a very, very odd couple. Him and Danica Patrick were together for 2 years. Danica introduced them to, and now they are engaged.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yes.
Not that it's a bad thing or a problem, but there's quite an age gap there, right? Maybe?
Yeah, I think Shailene is probably late 20s, early 30s, because I want to say she was a teenager when she was on Secret Life of the American Teenager, which was probably 10 years ago already.
Okay, and he's maybe in his he's in his late 30s.
Yeah.
I guess that's not,
so it's not too bad, I guess.
Not terrible, but I think Aaron Rodgers is so handsome.
Oof. Yikes.
This is an ongoing theme as well, Sam. I love a good mustache.
I'm sorry, I have such a baby face.
Oh, it's all right. Just drawing a little mustache. Oh, Shailene Woodley's 30. Okay,
not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. For some reason, I picture Aaron Rodgers is like 40 and her is like 17, but that's definitely. I'm terrible at guessing ages. Yeah, no, I think he's very handsome. I like his mustache. So good for them. She locked herself down a good mustache.
Hi, I'm Haley the Brave, teacher and mom by day, cosplayer and pop culture junkie by, well, also by day. I'm obsessed with all things fandom and I love to talk about it. So join me and some of my friends as we geek out about TV, movies, music, and all the awesome things that make life worth living. Listen to my podcast, 30 Nerdy and Thriving, available now on all major streaming platforms.
Okay, let's get to know Sam here a little bit more, our junkie for the week. So tell us about what you were into when you were a kid, Sam. What kind of TV shows did you like and movies and all that jazz?
Totally. Well, I started doing like musicals and musical theater at a very young age. I did my first show when I was 4 years old. And people kind of laugh when I say this, but I haven't really stopped since. Like, continually throughout my life, I know I'm still young. I'm only 19, but
that's a long time, man.
Yeah,
15 years. That's
totally.
A long time.
And there have been incredible highs with that and also lows like, this last year. But a lot of my viewing it's been a lot of musicals. I love them. I love musicals. I love music in general. But when I was really young, as you said, I was on the Addams Family tour. And so that a lot of that kind of my 10, 11, 12, like that age was like a lot of Nickelodeon in hotel rooms, because that was like the only channel that they always had. So like I grew up on a lot of like Drake and Josh and iCarly, and because usually that was like the only thing that I could watch in like a random hotel room somewhere in the country. So I'm kind of a product of that like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel age.
Awesome. Absolutely. Me too.
Same,
I mean, I'm a little older than you guys. You guys probably watch like the same stuff, but I was definitely a Nickelodeon, Disney Channel.
It's the best.
Fiend.
It's still really good.
Right? I know. I'm glad that like the new generation gets some cool stuff too.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was your favorite show on Nickelodeon?
Oh, I mean, I just love Drake and Josh. So like the whole show is just hilarious, and it's still hilarious like to this day.
That's always good when things hold up, stand the test of time.
Definitely.
So how many Broadway shows have you actually been in?
So I just the two. I was on the tour of Addams Family when I was 12, and then I joined the Broadway cast of Dear Evan Hansen in March of 2019. And then in August of 2019, I joined the tour. And then I was on there until March of 2020.
Oh, that's a lot of fun. Cool. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite places you've visited while you've been on tour?
Oh my goodness. So many. That's been like the best part about it, has been like getting to see all of these places and exploring. So I joined in the second year of the tour, and there was a stretch that we like to call the barbecue tour, because we went to Nashville and Memphis and Louisville, Kentucky and St. Louis, and like all of these kind of places where every city we got to, they were like, you have to try this barbecue place. Like you have to. So for like 4 months, I was just eating like barbecue after barbecue. So I'm kind of sick of barbecue.
Like, no more barbecue.
No more barbecue, at least for now. But then we got to go a lot of places in Texas. Like we went to Houston and Dallas and Austin and San Antonio. And then we went to California for a little bit. We did San Diego and Sacramento. But I loved last January and February, we were in Canada. We got to be there for 3 weeks. And I don't know, I'd never been. And actually we have 5 Canadians in the cast. So as much as we were taking them around America, they were showing us around Canada. And it was a really cool dynamic and blend of the countries. Yeah, it was really special.
Oh, that's so neat. I've never been to Canada, but it's on my bucket list. I've always wanted to go. Oh, that's awesome. So, like, can you tell us a little bit about Dear Evan Hansen and the roles that you played?
Yeah. So Dear Evan Hansen is a musical that premiered on Broadway in 2016. And it had been kind of workshopped up until then. And it won the Tony Award for Best Musical in 2017. And it tells the story of Evan Hansen, who is a teenage boy in modern age. And it kind of tells the story of him. He has extreme social anxiety. And so he kind of hides away from the world and from people. And the show is really about what happens when someone gives him a chance, and he finds a family that he never kind of had before. And there's a lot of crying, there's a lot of screaming, there's a lot of the show tackles mental health in a really special way. And so it's been a joy to be a part of. And the fans that we get at the stage door just completely pour their hearts out to us. And it's really special.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll resume touring, at some point, hopefully?
Yes, I think that it will resume. I have no idea when and where and how and why, but I think sometime in maybe the end of this year or the beginning of next year, something will happen. But New York and shows are starting to slowly pick up again, and things are slowly starting to happen.
Yeah.
This is the longest time in Broadway history that nothing has played. So
oh, wow.
It's kind of a huge blow to the industry for sure. And it's a really devastating loss for all of the actors involved. But I think we're excited to get out there and show some hope and some healing and try to kind of close some wounds that people have. Yeah,
absolutely. The arts are so important, and it's just like people that don't realize, I guess, until it's gone, what like a gap that, you know, we're all experiencing and not being able to see our favorite movies and plays and shows and music and just, it's definitely a gap.
Totally.
Have you ever like gone out in public and been recognized for one of your roles by someone just like walking down the street or whatever?
Yes. So I have a kind of in New York, I was an understudy, which meant that there's 8 people in the cast. So I would sit backstage with about 8 other understudies, and we would just wait to go on. And if someone got sick, we were there and ready to go. And so I covered 3 of the roles, and I went on in my 6 months, only went on 4 times. But thankfully, when I got onto the tour, I was a job called the alternate Evan, which meant that the role of Evan is like this basically 2.5 hour long, like screaming, crying. It's very intense and very heavy.
Yeah.
And so my job is basically so that the actor who's playing Evan doesn't have to do all of the 8 shows a week. I do 2 of the 8 shows. So after one of my shows, I just went out to dinner with a couple of the cast members, and this whole table ended up actually buying our whole dinner, and was just like, we enjoyed the show. And I've never really had any of those moments like that. So it was really,
That's
really
so
cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. It was like kind of weird. I was like, oh wow. Like, they're doing
if
this
you
for
insist.
me. Yeah, I guess.
How did you, get started? You said you were 4. Like, did your parents just kind of hear you singing around the house? You're like, he's kind of good at this.
Yeah. My grandma just like took me to see a local show at down in Scottsdale. And I was like, I want to do that. And so they have this theater, Desert Stages Theater in Scottsdale. They have a lot of youth programs. And so I just started auditioning, and I didn't get into the first couple, but the more I auditioned, the more times I was seen and the more shows that I was in. And then I just like, as I grew older, I just started doing more shows, and the roles became more mature, and the shows that I was doing became more mature. And so like when I was 15, I was doing these like really complex and emotional characters. And I think that kind of has lended itself really nicely to this show that is also very complex and emotional.
Yeah.
So that's been in kind of my toolbox for a while, and it's a really nice muscle that I get to flex sometimes.
Oh, that's so neat. How old were you when you went to New York for the first time?
Ooh, the first time I think I was 6 or 7 actually. And it was like one of those things that like, it was really out of a movie. Like I got there and I was like, oh yeah, like this is my home. Like this is where I'm going to live. And like, I just knew that like New York is eventually going to be, I lived there for about 6 months, but eventually that's where I want to end up, and that's where I want to live. It's a place where I feel very at home, and that's where a lot of the theater community is. So that's that's my people.
Where dreams are made of, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Have you ever been to New York, Nicole?
No, but it's definitely like the number 1 city that I want to visit for sure.
Yeah, me too. Aww. Let's talk about musicals.
Ooh.
I love musicals. Do you so I'm assuming you like musicals, Sam.
I do. I really do.
Okay, what's your favorite musical?
Oh my goodness.
I know, putting you on the spot.
I know.
Or at least some of your top 5 favorites, if you can't narrow them down.
So there's so many. I love Les Mis. That's a classic. Probably my favorite that I just like will listen to like in the car and sing along with in the car it's called Jesus Christ Superstar, and it's like my favorite show. I got to do it a couple years ago, but I didn't play the role that I wanted to play, so I'm putting it out in the universe.
Did you want Jesus?
I played Jesus, but I wanted to play Judas, so I'm putting out in the universe
that's so cool.
now that if anyone's listening, I'm ready. I'm here.
Sam is ready to be Judas.
Yes.
He will betray you with a kiss, people.
I
He's
will.
ready.
With a smile.
Oh, that's awesome. I like musicals too. I mean, I definitely haven't gotten a chance to go see a lot of live theater. I just see musical movies when they come out.
Yeah.
So I really like, I love Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably my favorite. So good. Moulin Rouge, The Greatest Showman was really good.
Oh, yeah.
We were just talking about that last week, right, Nicole?
Yeah.
Yeah, the writers, the songwriters of The Greatest Showman also wrote Dear Evan Hansen. So there's a little tie-in there, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we were just talking about how much we liked the soundtrack for that last week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were like getting into musicals, and then we're like, wait, stop. It's wait for Sam.
Totally.
What are some of your favorite musicals, Nicole?
Definitely The Greatest Showman. Okay, so I had to Google like musicals because I don't go to the theater and watch them. I'm kind of more like you, Shauna, where I watch the movies of them. So I Googled movies that are musicals, and I didn't realize half of these were considered musicals. So you can totally judge me if you do not think they're musicals, but I have them written down.
That sounds fun. Let's do it.
So we have Hairspray, the one with Zac Efron.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I'm actually obsessed with that. I used to watch it all the time when I was younger. A Star is Born, for sure. We talked about that last week as well.
Yes.
And then my top favorite one, if you would consider it a musical, is probably Grease.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Grease is absolutely a musical.
Yeah. So
yes,
Grease is number one with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I love Grease. When I was growing up, me and my mom would watch Grease probably once a week, and I had it on VHS, and I was just obsessed with it. And I remember trying to sing "Look at Me, I'm Sandra Dee" in my choir class at some point, and the choir teacher coming over and being like, "Oh, this song's not appropriate," and we were like, "Why not?" She's lousy with virginity.
Well, there is going to be a Dear Evan Hansen movie coming out this year, actually. At the end of this year, I think they just announced September. They just filmed it over quarantine. So,
that's so cool.
That's very exciting. Yeah.
Do you know anybody who's going to be in it?
Yes. The original star, Ben Platt, is going to be reprising his role as Evan. So,
Ben Platt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's cool.
So he won a Tony for his role. And so he's going to be, and I cannot wait to see it. I'm such a big fan.
Julianne Moore is going to be in it?
Yeah, Julianne Moore, Amy Addams, all these big stars.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Oh, how exciting. Oh, man, I hope you get, like, red carpet treatment. You're like, I know all the words, man.
Hopefully.
I like musical episodes of TV shows, too. I mean, sometimes I think they're a little unnecessary and they kind of get, like, shoehorned in.
Yeah.
But like, I really like, we already talked about my obsession with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I think that is such an iconic music episode of television. So like a demon basically curses the town and everybody in the entire city is just breaking out into musical numbers, and it's hilarious. And like they all end up kind of confessing their secrets through song. I did like the Flash musical episode too, but a lot of the cast members from Flash were on Glee back in the day, so they all have wonderful singing voices. Yeah. Did you guys watch Glee at all? I know that was pretty popular.
Yeah, I did as when it first came out. Not as much recently, but yeah, it was huge when it first came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I never watched it.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I know a lot of them. You know, obviously everybody had beautiful singing voices, and they all went on to have musical careers and things. Grey's Anatomy had a musical episode, and I have no idea how that happened.
It was so good.
Was it a dream sequence? How do you even explain that? Because at least like in Buffy and the Flash, there's always like a villain who's doing it to everybody or something.
So from what I can remember, and side note, I'm like the only person I know that actually loves this episode. Everyone I met or like talked to about it absolutely hates it. And I don't know why, but I believe Callie gets into a car accident. So it's like she's in the hospital bed, but then like she like comes out of her body, and I think she just starts singing. And then, like, that's how the musical episode starts, if I can
So she's,
remember.
like, in a coma, basically?
Yeah.
Or a fever dream of some sort?
I think that's how it goes. But if not, totally correct me if I'm wrong listening to this, but I think that's from what I remember how it went. And then everyone else just like became a singer and stuff. I'm like, okay, how much of this is actually like auto-tuned, and then how much of this is real?
I can't imagine if you're like on a show like that and then the director comes to you and is like, we're having a musical episode, and you're like, I cannot sing.
Right.
I really like Allison Hannigan on the Buffy episode had like 1 or 2 sung lines, and she's come out later being like, I'm a crappy singer. Like, and I told them like, I just can't do it. Like,
right.
Oh my gosh. And then Riverdale, all these like CW shows. Riverdale has a musical episode every year. And then, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, they always have to have like bad teen karaoke on that show. It's just like so unnecessary. Like, why are you guys singing this right now in the middle of this like dramatic sex scene? But yeah, I don't know. But I do like listening to people sing, so I'll accept it.
Do you want to hear me sing?
Absolutely. Are you a good singer?
No.
Oh, I got so excited. I thought you were just about to like Christina, like, oh, yeah.
No, I wish I was a good singer. But I'm not.
Do you take like voice lessons, Sam? Or like, do you have like scales that you go through? How do you keep everything on?
I've had a couple different voice teachers. I took my first voice lesson when I was 7, and as I got older and my voice started changing, I needed kind of different things from each teacher. So I have 2 now, one for kind of one style of singing and another for the other. So I feel very lucky that one of my voice teachers in New York is like a huge vocal coach for a lot of different celebrities and big projects. So I'm happy to just get my FaceTime with him in sometimes.
So cool.
Are you a soprano or are you an alto? Those are the only 2 things I remember from choir.
I'm a tenor, which is the higher one. As you can hear from my voice, I have a higher voice. Mm-hmm. But the role of Evan is like known for having like these crazy high notes and like singing into the stratosphere. So I'm happy that my voice is this high, so I'm able to not like kill myself every day while just singing the show.
Yeah. Do you have to like gargle a lot of salt water and honey tea and all that good stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean, before a show, it feels like you're about to run a marathon, and it feels like a marathon because it's like basically 2.5 hours of just nonstop go. And I think he leaves the stage for a total of like 6 minutes in that 2.5 hours. So I have to kind of train like an athlete, and I have to, make sure my body is warmed up as well as my voice, as well as I'm focused and I'm in it. And because the show kind of revolves around the performance of Evan, and people are there to see, dear Evan Hansen, it's kind of a lot of pressure. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to kind of live like a monk, really. And not, there's some people don't eat dairy because it messes with your cords, or everyone has their own little thing. I have my little tricks up my sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's whatever works for you, but I definitely, I had to train for about 5 or 6 weeks in rehearsals, even just to finish the show once.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Because it's that kind of exhausting.
Oh, yeah. I can't even imagine. I mean, I used to dance like competitively and things, but I mean, it's short routines and then you're off stage. So like 2.5 hours of just, physical exertion like that. That's super impressive.
Yeah. A lot of running around and just sinking into balls and sobbing in your arms like that, but also singing very high. It's right. Stupid. It's.
I would not suggest it. It's so stupid.
No, I mean, I am so honored to do it, but realistically, I wouldn't say it's fun. It's hard. It's really hard work, but that's what's fun about it.
Yeah. Well, what's next for you then, Sam? What's next on the agenda, especially once the world starts hopefully getting to a place where we can all interact again?
Yeah. Well, I am I'm currently just doing some school online, just trying to kind of keep my brain occupied. I'm doing a couple things at the Phoenix Theater in Phoenix, and they just built this beautiful outdoor stage that I highly suggest checking out. And if you're in the mood for a live performance, and they have performances 6 days a week, and so I'm trying to keep occupied, and then hopefully I'm back on the road by the end of the year. Fingers crossed.
That's so cool. Oh my God, we need to go see a show, Nicole.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. When you're in the Phoenix Theater, you'll have to let us know and we'll come
I will.
and watch you.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be such a fun outing. Aww. Awesome. Especially if it's an outdoor space like that and the weather will just be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Be spaced out. We can make big signs that say, "We know him."
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you so much for joining us, Sam. Your life just sounds so fascinating and like so cool. And you're such a nice guy. Like, it's just, what a delight to have you on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Where can people find you on the interwebs if they want to follow you?
Yes. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's just my name at Sam Primack. And I post a lot of tour updates and fun videos from the road, and you can kind of follow me around the country. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely be following you, especially so we can keep up to date when we can come and see a show.
Yes.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Where can the people find you, Nicole?
You can find me on my social medias, Instagram, Twitter at NALGeorge14. And that's about it. And you can find me on TikTok too if you want. I don't know my thing, but I think it's like Nicole_Eldridge.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram at Shauna Trinidad, ShaunaTrinidad. I am on Twitter as Shauna Trinidad. And please follow all of the Pop Culture Junkie social media handles. So we are pop.culturejunkies on Instagram. We are Pop Culture Junkie on Facebook. And please join our group, Pop Culture Junkie Support Group, where we talk about all things nerdy and pop culture themed. And please give a vote in the upcoming Junkies Choice Awards. We just put out a cool little thing that you can click through and make all your votes. We have a ton of really funny and cool categories. So me and Nicole will be having a little show coming up where we announce all the winners. We do also have some brand spanking new merch out on the website. So www.popculturejunkie.com. Does anybody say the www anymore? I don't think so. It's just, gosh, I'm like, listen to the radio. Go to the wwws. So we have some new merch up. It's really cool. We have a Buffy themed shirt, and then we just have our regular Pop Culture Junkie shirts, phone cases, hoodies. So get your swag. And that is it for this week. Thanks again, Sam.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Pop Culture Junkie is a production of Pop Culture Entertainment Group. All rights reserved.